Never judge a person till you walk a mile in their shoes. Let's talk about that. Let's get cracking. Good moto morning. Welcome to another episode of Kraken's Garage. Kraken's Garage, we discuss all good things on 2 and 3 wheels, including scooters, some slight tutorials, some historical value videos, also some slight gear reviews from time to time. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the motorcycle community and how they treat other riders. So this is not exactly a positive video or an uplifting video. If you're expecting that, take a hard pass on this one. I'll start this story off with my worst chapter of my moto career that I have ever done. One of the most heinous things I ever did on 2 wheels. I was up on Skyline Drive in the early 80s and riding my latest and greatest crotch rocket, a GSXR, ZX, Ninja, whatever the latest Japanese land rocket was at the time. And I pulled off into one of the outlooks to overlook the view. And this old gentleman rolled up on a Harley-Davidson trike. And as I was watching him through my helmet visor, I was kind of snickering, saying, you know, it takes a real man to ride a 2-wheel bike. And as I stopped there at that moment, snickering, I watched him get off his trike and he had a prosthetic leg. So I had to stop and think for a minute, and I'm like, alrighty, that was well done, Eric, well done. And the way I was raised and brought up was when you do a wrong, you have to do whatever it takes to make it right. So I took my helmet off and I marched over to this gentleman and I said, "Excuse me, sir." And he said, "Yeah, son, what can I do for you?" And I said, "I owe you an apology." And he said, "What for?" And I said, "Because when you rode up on your trike, I was snickering and I had no idea that you were a handicapped rider, and I totally get why you're riding a trike. It keeps you in the wind." And he said, "Well, I appreciate you coming up and apologizing to me. I get that a lot." And I just shrug it off. A lot of people laugh at me because I ride on 3 wheels, but it's the only way I can get around. And as it turns out, after talking to this gentleman, he was a war veteran and literally had his leg blown off. He is more of a man than I will ever be in my lifetime. He has stepped up to the plate for this country and paid the ultimate price. And here I was, a smart aleck in my early 20s, browbeating him. So that was my most shameful moment. So small chapter in my life. I did what I could do to make it right. I felt horrible the rest of the day and went home. It taught me a lesson. Next story that kind of correlates to this topic is I was at a seminar or class with General Motors, and they were talking about how customers, you can't judge them. The point they were driving home was they had us watch a video, and the video was filmed on a public transportation bus, and this man was sitting there with his head down, and he had 2 kids with him, and the kids were jumping all over the seats, making a ruckus for everybody on the bus. Just a rotten time for everybody to be around these 2 hellion kids. Somebody walks up to the gentleman and said, "You know, sir, can you settle your kids down? They're a little out of control." And he said, "No, you're right. I'm sorry. We just came from their mother's funeral, and I think this is the kids' way of releasing that energy of losing their mother." That video hit me like a ton of bricks, and I'm like, you know, you don't know what's happening in someone's lives. Thus the statement of why I opened this video up. Never judge a person till you walk a mile in their shoes. You don't know the load they're carrying in life and how they travel. All right, what does this have to do with motorcycling? I recently bumped into another up-and-coming motovlogger who just started his channel. I picked up on him from a video in Code Grays. So I subscribed to him and got to chatting with this gentleman. He's not too far away. I'm sure we'll cross paths. And he shared with me, he rides a Can-Am. And he shared with me that he very much gets frowned upon by the Harley riders because he rides a Can-Am. Now, I don't get this. If you ride, they're selling like hotcakes the Harley trikes. You have to be a real man to own a Harley trike? Is that what the moral of the story is from the moto community? Let's go one step further. He's supporting another content creator, a motovlogger, and they had a live stream, and somebody made a wisecrack about a Can-Am, and made him feel pretty sour grapes about it. So he didn't really react in the live stream, and he later went back on Instagram and private messaged the gentleman. No, I'm not going to bring up names. That's not the point of this video, to call anybody out. And he said, hey, the Can-Am, not cool, kind of hurt my feelings, etc., etc. And he's like, no, I get that. And he said, by the way, I'm a veteran and I have to ride 3 wheels at this time of my life. And of course, the guy chimed right in, I support veterans. Awesome, dude. Well, you didn't in this case. To add insult to injury, the very next live stream, the gentleman motovlogger saw him in the live stream, viewing his content, and took another jab at him for riding a Can-Am, even though he had the conversation with him as to the story of why this gentleman is on 3 wheels. Sad. Me personally, I run into it all the time. Even on my Sportster, when I come with my clip-ons and I'm hunched over and I'm riding towards Harley riders, they don't wave, they don't even smile, nothing. They give their best sour face, pirate face that they practice in the mirror, till they realize I'm on a Harley, and then they'll try to recuperate with a wave or something like that. It's sad, it's really sad. If I'm on my Vespa, forget about it. You better have thick skin if you're riding a Vespa, let alone a Can-Am or a 3-wheel vehicle. It seems like the trikes in Harley-Davidson have come into the fold, and the brotherhood, whatever that is, has accepted them, but they're not accepting a veteran riding a Can-Am. Shame on you, gentlemen, shame on you. The Harley wave has been done 1,000 times on YouTube. I'll never do a video on that. I just give it one of these kind of an Elvis wave to them to let them know I recognize they're there, and I appreciate that they're on 2 wheels. That goes for anybody on 2 wheels. Part of the reason why scooters get such a bad rap is in the United States, at one period of time, if you got a DUI, driving under the influence, and lost your driver's license, you could ride a scooter without a license. It was a well-known fact that most of the drunks were riding around on scooters and got a very bad rap as a result. And that stigma has carried forward to this day regarding scooter riders, despite them being transcontinental capable machines. So I'll get off that topic. So since I started my YouTube channel, how do I handle this scenario when I bump into it? It's real easy. I have 0 tolerance for any of that kind of monkey business regarding anybody on 2 wheels. Ride what you want, ride it like a boss, be proud of what you got, and rock it. If people frown upon them, block them. They're cancer. Get them out of your YouTube life. Get them out of your social media life. That's my humble opinion. I have no time to spend my life endorsing anybody that feels this way towards another motorcyclist and their journey in life and how they got to where they're at. Why is this important to me? Part of my back issues that led to subsequently the surgery is I have scoliosis, and that has led to neuropathy. So I've had none legs for most of my life. And as we grow older, your body is a depreciating asset. It's going down, down, down as your abilities get worse, your muscles get worse, and et cetera. Well, the same goes for the neuropathy. Eventually, I will lose the use of my legs. So when I cross that bridge, I may be stuck on scooters, or I may be stuck on a trike. And most likely, it'll probably be a Can-Am because I really happen to like them. That said, I'll take a look at all of them that are available at that period in time of my life when I cross that bridge. Part of the reason why I bought the Icon Revival is because I don't know how many more seasons I have left to ride on 2 wheels. I ask my viewing public, if you're watching this video, give people a break. Become a good ambassador of a motorcycling community. Let alone a motovlogger, you're supposed to be leading the way for all the others. Understand that everybody has a different path. You too were that kid standing on the corner when you had no bike and your parents wouldn't buy you one, and somebody went zooming by on a brand new Honda CT70 and you're like, holy smokes, that's the baddest bike I ever saw in my life. You finally saved up your money, bought your first bike, got a chip in the poker game, and you have graduated up to a Harley-Davidson dresser, bagger, whatever. Good for you, that's great, that's the American dream. But regardless, never forget that you were once that person that wanted that bike that went zooming by, and it wasn't a Harley most likely. So that's today's lesson in the moto community. Not exactly an inspiring message, but I felt it needed to be said. This type of conduct gives me heartburn, and it needs to be addressed and dealt with. And that leads by example from all of us. And when you see this happening, get involved, tell them to knock it off. So the very point of this topic is I'm going to introduce this very individual I'm talking about who rides this Can-Am and has medical disabilities that are preventing him from riding on two wheels. So that's going to finish up today's video. It's 63 degrees out. I'm going to hop on my Icon Revival and I'm going to go for a ride without any cameras and kind of think about what I just shared with you. It really gets under my skin. So I need to go blow some steam off and clear my mind, and motorcycling does that very well. Thank you for hearing me out. To my end watchers, today's shout out goes to 602 North. His name is RJ. He has a whopping 25 subs. He has 10 videos out. He has another one that's going to pop live today, so he'll have 11 out. His total videos out will go up 10% with just one video this evening. He's a motorcycle and Jeep enthusiast, just started his YouTube channel. His 602 North is a reference to their vintage house that was built in circa 1906 that he and his family are renovating. He's rocking a Can-Am Spyder F3L in my favorite color, orange. That would be the color I would get. He's owned most of the major brands, including 2 Harley Ultras. He just got back from a trip to Key West. I'm not sure if he went jeeping on the beach down there or not. I think he said he was going to. I don't know if he did, but I would ask all veterans that watch my channel, sign up to this gentleman, give him some love and support. Give him some constructive criticism on his videos to help him on his journey and get him to where he needs to go so he can feel good about the motovlog community. The welcome mat that was dusted off by another motovlogger for this gentleman is unacceptable. I expect more from this community. I'm asking you, I'm rattling my sabers here as Kraken. I'm asking you to reach out to this guy and give him some love and hook him up and support his channel. With that, there's my ghost dog Bullet, my double patched weasel. He's here to tell me to wrap up this video and quit flapping my gums. If you would like to be a Patreon, the link is down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more in the future, hit that subscribe button right down there in the corner. And remember, folks, go riding. It's good for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Peace.